I lifted for a long time just because I enjoyed it. And I've always been into something, I guess, along those lines. So I was kickboxing. From kickboxing, they sponsored my demolition derby car. So I drove demolition derby. I actually got hurt and then was in a physical therapy office and met a guy who trained me for bikini. So we're talking years ago, but I never had the guts to stand up on stage and do it. But I enjoyed the working out of it. So it just took me a few years building, and my body responded to adding muscle very easily. And people started asking me daily if I competed, and I just figured, you know what, why not? Why am I not doing this? I'm already doing all the work. So that's when I started, December 2022, and that was my first show, the Excalibur. So I don't know,
Well,
it
like I
just kind of
said,
it got me being on stage. I was like, okay, I can do this, and I placed well and just continued.
well, it's some background. Doing kickboxing, and they get a demolition derby. I mean, crashing cars. I used to remember as a kid, you saw shows coming. So Sunday, coming to the
Yeah.
Sunday theater. So, those were classics, like Bigfoot and, all those other guys. Yeah. And how long was you doing demolition before your injury?
Well, I did it for a couple of years. The injury is actually from kickboxing. I
Mhm.
blew my knee out, so that was fun.
So as a big, was you ever competitive? Did you ever compete as a pro, or were you just mostly amateur when you were doing kickboxing?
Oh no, it was more for fun.
So you
Yeah,
never got
never did
into the
anything pro.
ring. You never got in the
No,
ring.
no. I
Like
like
I
my
said,
face. I wanted to keep it that way.
well, you're not the first lady. I know quite a few ladies who got into combat sports before they got into bodybuilding. Some made it to a career out of it. Others just did it because it was a way to get healthy and get in shape.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is. But I know I'm saying you don't want to, like I said, you don't want anybody to punch you in the nose and be like, So,
exactly.
yeah, and then you get kicked in the head. I mean, it's tough.
I have a job I have to think for, so
Yeah, you want to be like you're like Rocky Balboa.
exactly.
You just
Too
yeah.
funny.
Right here we got here Jedi. I think it's Mui. I believe he says Taya is the best.
No,
Yeah. Thank you for coming through.
thank
Appreciate
you.
that. Yeah. So now you started 2022 was your first show. That was
Mhm.
Excalibur. What was that feeling like on stage? Because you think about it, we see y'all on stage, we see these buff bodies, vascular in shape, but then don't realize what it takes you to get there.
So again, because I had trained for this for so long anyways, the build to get there wasn't hard. Diet's never been an issue for me. I can eat the same thing every day and I'm fine doing that. And it's just, I guess it's part of the routine, so I'm used to it. I think it was more the nerves of being on stage and vulnerable and opening yourself up to be judged by people you don't know. And how are you going to be perceived by these other people? Who is your competition that you're with? And I think it was just nervous standing there. But when it was all over, the lights were so bright. I realized I really couldn't see anybody, anyways. I just did my routine that I had practiced, and away I went. And it wasn't nearly as bad as I thought it would or was going to be. So I just, like I said, continued with it. And I still get nervous stepping on the stage at any show, but you go and you do what you know and you do your best and see what happens.
Yeah, it takes a lot of courage to do what you men and women do as competitors, especially for y'all women, because you go out there, you're pretty much halfway naked. You're tired, you're dehydrated. But you gotta bring a presentation of both muscle and femininity. I
Hmm.
think, especially, there's so much work involved with it. Most people, when you think about bodybuilders, it's like you think about two people. That's Arnold Schwarzenegger, Lou Ferrigno, the Incredible Hulk, and the Terminator,
Hmm.
and they don't understand what takes there to get there. Diet, consistency, persistence. Following a plan, especially when you are working with a coach. And try to figure out what things are best for you in your process.
Yep. Yep, and I've gone through a couple different coaches. My first coach was awesome. We, did exactly what we set out to do, and that was great. I think he went through a little bit of something personal on his own and didn't feel that he could get me to the next level, which was unfortunate because, we went into business together too, doing meal prep stuff. So I really understand the aspect of nutrition and all that behind all of this too. So I picked up a new coach. They have been amazing. Him and his wife are great, and they pushed me to the next level. And now, like I said, 2025 pro stage. This is gonna be fun.
So, you just said announced that you're going to make your pro debut in 2025.
I will for sure. We haven't picked a date or a show yet, but yes, it's definitely coming.
Well, if you have not saw the list yet, well, there's a couple of shows, especially for women's physique, that are really put up some big money. Texas
Hmm.
Pro, that's even though you can crack the top 10, still get $1,000. And just saw recently that the Pittsburgh Pro is pulling up $10,000 for first
I saw
place.
that one.
Yeah, but this year some shows have kicked women's physique out of their shows. I think one sets out is one that's two ladies I had the opportunity to talk to as they were the last champions,
Mm.
Marika Jones and Yvonne Pennington. That was in St. Louis and the Legion Sports Festival, and saw that the Triple O Dynasty is not having women's physique this year because of a sponsorship. It might change. We never know.
Okay. Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
definitely keep an eye out. Like I said, I trust my coaches now, and they know what's best, and they know all the shows, and I'm not their only competitor too, which makes me happy. So they're very familiar with the arena, and we'll figure out something good for me.
Okay. And what's the name of your coaches and how long y'all been together?
So I started posing with Kim Harris. They know her as Kim Baby Doll. She is an IFBB pro as well. She helped me pose for my 2023 Excalibur show. And after that, I decided I was going to pick up them as a team. So her husband, Terry Hairston, and his partner, James Juge, they do help do everything for me. So
That's good.
as far as training goes, I do all my own training. They just dial me in. They get my nutrition down to the very last second, all the specifics, and we do check-ins every week just to see I'm on track and where I'm supposed to be and where we need to go. And then obviously posing, that in itself is, I think that was the hardest part of all this for me, was learning the posing and making sure I was hitting it correctly every time.
Yeah, the
So
thing
yeah.
is, posing is a very important part, especially when you are competing, because it's women's physique, the men's bodybuilding, like men's open, men's physique. Those are the few divisions where you poses, where you get figure, because you did hit figure before.
Hmm.
That was you don't have to do any pose, you just got to turn around, turn around, turn around, and then you got to wear the high heels.
Yep.
And I'm quite few ladies I talked to say they were happy to kick those high heels out.
Oh, you have
They,
no idea.
I have heard stories, especially where one lady told me like what she used to do because she used to take her blow dryer and just put around the so could get a shoe foot in it because she had a wide foot.
Oh,
Yeah,
loosen it up a bit.
hey, I've been doing this for a while. I've been hearing stories. Oh, we
Yeah.
got here with my man Lawrence Perkins. Shout out to Lawrence. He says, "Good afternoon, Talia, George, and Jedi. Thank you, brother." Also, my man Jedi says, uh, is she an IFB Pro? Yes, she is Jedi. She got a pro card at the North Americans, was it last year, a few months
Yep.
ago.
August.
And yeah, you were competing both in physique and
I
women's
did
bodybuilding.
a triple crossover at that show. I had signed up for figure because that's what I had done. I was actually at the show in July in Pittsburgh doing figure, and I placed second. And I said, you know what? That's not good enough. I'm coming back. So I held for 6 weeks. Had already signed up for figure, and then we decided in between that 6 week period that I was going to do physique. So I signed up for physique. And not even kidding, the day before the show at check-ins, I decided to do women's bodybuilding too. And I ended up placing third in women's heavyweight bodybuilding at that show also. So no, I did three. It was
Yeah.
awesome. It was just really funny to come in so like far behind what I'm used to in figure. But at the same time, at least the judges told me what category I was supposed to be in, and I'm happy to take over physique. That's good.
Yeah, the judges can be hit and miss, especially for competitors. So, like Jennifer Rudolph, she won the overall and the title at that show. I interviewed her a while back. She
Yes.
got pro cards in that, and
I got
especially
a chance to
how,
meet her too.
yeah,
She was cool.
yeah, the divisions are starting. Like Rizik was created was supposed to be a substitute to women's bodybuilding, but if you look at it now, it's so easy to cross over because I've seen women doing from figure to physique, from physique to women's bodybuilding. I even had a lady who was on here. She got her pro card national. She did both figure and wellness. And and you see now they're putting out the new uh fit model division. Excuse my
Hmm.
excuse. So I'm not a fan of that personally. I think it's just going to be one of the divisions that's going to evolve with the sport.
Which is true. I feel like they've been trying to get more people interested in the sport. And even some of these bikini girls were just looking like they were out of someone's league of being able to do this. So, I mean, I guess they're opening it up to, more people to be involved. But at the same time, I mean, this is a sport. I mean, you kind of want to be at that level to be able to compete. So, yeah, I had mixed feelings about it too. But
Mhm, mhm.
it's
Well, like I said,
business.
yeah, it's business. It's outside trying to get money, but everybody can't be a bodybuilder. Everybody
No,
can't do what y'all do. Like Ronnie Coleman says, everybody want to be a bodybuilder. No one ever heavy as weight. We have here a comment from my man Jedi. He says, uh, "What's your favorite division?" So, like I said, he did all three at the North Americas. Which is the one you like the most?
physique.
Mm.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I'll
Yeah.
stick with that one this year for sure.
Yeah, I face a lot each division. You don't have to get as big as women's bodybuilding. You don't have to put on the high heels like the other divisions, and it has a certain look about condition, athleticism. But like I
Yes.
said again, the divisions is starting to melt a bit where sometimes you can't tell the difference between physique and women bodybuilders, where even though it's a size thing, but still
Right.
it's so easy to cross over, especially as an amateur.
Which is true. Yeah. So no, this is definitely the next level. I just think it showcases everything so much better than figure ever did for me. I know I have the conditioning and I know I have the definition, so it's kind of fun to show it.
Yeah. Also, we got a comment from Miriam Jedi. He says, uh, is she sponsored? So are you a sponsored athlete?
I am not at the moment. I would love to get a sponsorship this year. That's actually my main goal. So hopefully that will happen.
Well, I think a lot of players want to be sponsored because it helps the cost of because one thing is to keep saying this. For if you look at the divisions between the men and the women, the guys, all you gotta do is wear a pair of banana hammocks and board shorts and tan. And that's it. With you
Yep.
ladies, you have to have presentation. I remember back then when Bobby used to be, y'all have fancy suits. Y'all just have basic looking suit, not too fancy. I mean, something like maybe
Right.
a little pleather, something a little like satin looking. But now
Right.
the suits designs are very sparkly,
Yep.
different styles. Then also factoring stuff like the hair, the makeup, tanning. You
Yep.
also have to have your coaches and then travel and food and expense and so much that's involved with it.
Very
You
expensive.
know, yeah, it is very expensive. And it costs so much. And you have to really love this to do it.
Yes. Yep.
Mm.
Like I said, I was doing this well before I was doing this. It was just getting the courage to go up on stage and actually perform because that's what it is. It's a performance. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Here we get here a comment from my man Jedi says, did she ever think she'd come into far in bodybuilding? So you ever think you would have like I think basically like you ever think you would have became a pro because you only like I said, you only been competing for barely a couple years, but you've been training for a long
yeah.
time.
Yeah. So, I think it was after that first show that's really what got the bug. I was like, okay, I can do this. So, after training that whole next year, I actually had a double hernia repair the early 2023. So, I got that fixed, competed again at the Excalibur show, like I said, December 2023. And at that moment, I knew I was like, you know what? I'm doing this. I'm going for it. And the more I progressed with Terry and Kim and James, it was just this. It was game on. I knew I was going pro. I had to.
Ooh, heard that the hernia surgery. Ooh, right now I'm on the verge of thinking about. I got two bad knees like Stone Cold Steve Austin, and I'm thinking about getting knee surgery. But I do know it's hand surgery because I have a pacemaker. Had it for about 10 years, and it's tough. Trying to work out and train, dealing with an injury, and
Yep.
you're determined that you want to get back in that stage and get the opportunity to turn pro.